I always love a watch that looks a lot more expensive than it actually is. And I think everyone should love a watch that looks more expensive than it actually is, because you're getting a watch that looks like it costs more money than you have spent. And if that's the case, you're probably getting a bargain. And today's watch is a watch that looks a lot more expensive than its price point. This gets a moon phase, a small seconds, and a power reserve. Everything is laid out beautifully on the dial. It's from a brand called Van Spec, and I have one hands-on to show you guys. This is a Swiss automatic complicated watch that isn't expensive and looks beautiful. Let's flip the camera and take a look at Van Spec. I know I say it very often here on my channel, but I love to bring new watch brands to my channel because I get to feature watches like this. It's a watch that you may not come across if you're just a casual collector. Maybe you've never seen this before, and it's pretty interesting, especially considering the price. You can see there's a lot going on this dial, but it's also very well executed. At the 3 o'clock, you have a moon phase. Down at the 6 o'clock, you have a power reserve, and then at the 9 o'clock, you have a small seconds. This is a movement that I've never seen before here on my channel. Now, I've featured watches with movements from this brand. It's from STP, which is the Fossil Group arm that makes movements. These are Swiss-made movements. So if you've ever owned a Zodiac, chances are that it featured an STP movement, because a lot of their watches feature an STP movement. And this is just a really nice version of their automatic movement, which is essentially an ETA clone. But this is actually a configuration that I don't think the ETA group make, or the Sellita group. So this is something a little bit different. Again, that 9 o'clock position is a running seconds, and then down at the 6 o'clock position, you are getting that power reserve. But what they've done here to sort of keep the balance is they put each one of these in a sub-register. So that power reserve is sitting within a sub-register. It's very subtle, but it adds a lot of symmetry. And then you have that moon phase at the 3 o'clock. You have applied indices and a beautiful white dial. They make this in other colors as well. I think there's like a green dial, a blue dial. I think they get sunburst dials, but I think it's the white dial that is the best, in my opinion. Just aesthetically, I think it works really well. It's actually pretty legible as well. You get polished hands and polished indices, so it's pretty legible. Then when you flip the watch on its side, there are some other interesting details. So here's a pusher. It's a hidden pusher that operates the moon phase. However, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the telescoping case. So you have this case that starts out really small on the back, and then it telescopes out. And then you have the same thing going on the crown. So they have sort of matched the crown to the case. So there's little details that make it really kind of a special watch. Also, because of that case shape, it will wear smaller than its dimensions, and it will wear very comfortable. The brand name is at the top, right below the 12 o'clock index. That's Van Spec. And then it says automatic in the power reserve circle. This watch is essentially a 40 millimeter watch, so it measures in around 39.8 millimeters. You have a thickness of around 12.5 millimeters thick, and then the lug to lug is around 47.8 millimeters. So the lugs are long and they are drawn out. So you can see that here. They curve down, but they are pretty long. So this is a pretty long lug to lug. It's not incredibly long, and it is on a strap, and the strap does fold down perfectly. So this won't wear very large on small wrists. I think it will wear pretty nicely on most wrists. You get to see the movement from the case back. The case back does say made in Holland, so I believe that this is assembled in Holland using a Swiss movement, the STP. So the exact movement that this is using is the STP 21263. If you're curious, you get 50 meters of water resistance, a screwed-in case back, not a screwed-in crown, and that movement does get perlage and Geneva stripings. So it's one of their higher grade STP movements. You do get a double folding butterfly clasp. It is signed the brand's name on that clasp, and then it's also signed on the movement. I mean, is the strap the best strap that I've ever seen? No. I think that they probably should have went with like a calf leather strap, something a little bit softer. This is an embossed strap, so it's made to look like crocodile or alligator or something like that. I think they went with that because they think that this is a dressy watch, and they're right, it is a dressy watch, but I think if they put something a little bit simpler, a little bit softer, maybe a really nice suede strap, this would look even more expensive in my opinion, especially when you're holding it. It would be a little bit nicer to hold as well, because this is a pretty stiff strap. It's not the best strap. So the only thing I would say is that you would immediately change the strap on this if you don't like this strap. And I don't. It's a personal thing. I think a lot of people might like this strap. So it's really up to the person who's purchasing it. On my wrist today, I have a beautiful chronograph from HTD. This is just a really, really good looking, classic looking, vintage style chronograph that's really well made as well. Video about this will be dropping pretty soon. And there is the Van Spec on my 7.5 inch wrist. This looks a lot more expensive than it actually is, and we'll talk about price in just a few seconds. Again, this is around a 40mm watch. It wears a little bit smaller than that though. I would say it wears like a 39mm watch because of the case shape, in my opinion. You have around a 48mm lug to lug. It's actually under 48mm and just over 12mm thickness. Really a great looking watch on wrist. It is a very handsome watch, and that's because you have that moon phase, the way that the dial is laid out. I just think it really does work very, very well. The moon is gold, the stars are gold as well, so when you move it around, it sparkles a little bit. Very nicely laid out. Really a beautiful watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Price on this watch is $958. I think that's a really good price for what you're getting here. It doesn't look like anything else right now on the market, and it does get that STP movement, and I really haven't seen that before from any other brand. By the way, it does hand wind, so if you want to hand wind this, you can, and you can see that power reserve go up as you wind it. So it's just like an ETA movement. I think it gets 42 hours of power reserve, so when it's on full, you're getting 42 hours of power reserve. Pretty decent. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. $958. There is no lume on here because this is really a dress watch, and obviously it doesn't require a lume, so they did not put any lume on this dial, and I think it would ruin it a little bit. You have very elegant hands on here. The indices are applied. Everything is polished, just beautifully finished, and overall a really nice watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I will put a link to their website down in the description. Definitely check out this watch if you are interested. That's really it, guys. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.